race fans, and welcome to another edition. It's round 13 of 15 of the 2021 IndyCar iRacing Series from the legendary Road Atlanta circuit, Gravelton, Georgia. It's going to be 60 laps of action today. It's a 2.5-mile circuit. It feels much faster than that, and the lap times indicate that. Of course, it's going to be me in the booth today here, VirtualRacing.Network. Trevor Greenfield, glad to be with you all season for the IndyCar iRacing Series. And you can see the 2021 IndyCar world records there set already this week, earlier in the Wednesday race. But those times have already fallen in practice. We'll be seeing them become official here in the race. So the cars are already out there on track. We're going to jump down track side. See if we can pick up some of the action. They head out there, get their qualifying laps in, and get ready for today's race. Some big news to talk about, of course. We switch over and take a look at Adam Crane, your season points leader. And actually, very soon to be potentially crowned the champion, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we watch Adam go around, not yet completed a lap here. And we wait for some of the cars to start turning in some laps. So again, proud to have you with us here on VirtualRacing.Network. We are broadcasting in 4K resolution. Trying to get everything up and running for us here today. There we go. Guess we were sleeping there for a minute over in our broadcast truck. Had to go knock on the door and ask him what was going on. But there we go. Adam Crane, thus far, your fastest driver. Currently with a 104.77, so that will, of course, take the world record qualifying speed for 2021. Again, this is the first race that they would have had a chance to set that at, and there was already one of the races earlier this week, a different time slot. So we watch Adams head around the track on his second lap. Let's see if he can do better on this one. 104.77 last time as he slides that car through the corner. Makes his way here towards the start-finish line. Very tricky part of the circuit there. We expect to see a lot of incidents. So Adam Crane completing his second lap just behind Jordan Lacey there with a 105.17, your winner on Wednesday. Both of those drivers, Jordan Lacey and then Dennis Fritz, also making an appearance today on the broadcast as well. Great to have him back. And does appear as though Fritz is done. Rashad Craig is out there at the moment. Cut over to him. Beautiful paint job on that machine. Rashad, one of the frequent runners in IndyCar iRacing Series and some of the other official iRacing series on some of the other official IndyCar series here on iRacing. We'll get to the current season points here in just a minute. Let's take a look at what the weather is that these drivers are facing out there. It's about 90 to 98 degrees on track with a 8-mile-an-hour cross breeze. It's virtually 2 o'clock here in the afternoon on September 11th, which is actually tomorrow. And of course, in real life, as we see Rashad Craig there put in a third best time in qualifying, 105.28 for today's race. Got another couple of minutes remaining of qualifying. We'll see. We've got Kazuhiro Shiba here making another appearance with us on Broadcast Friday. Great to have you back, Kazuhiro. Looks like going a little slow here. Oh, already put in a second lap, so Kazuhiro finds himself in 7th. Richard Crozier making another great appearance here on Broadcast Friday. Been seeing a lot of Richard over the last few broadcasts that we've been doing, and it's great because not only is Richard a really excellent competitor, but as you can see that number 2 car on the side, of course that's sorted by iRating, so Richard, very skilled, experienced racer, and it's just great to have him in the field. Of course, that does increase the strength of field. So as I was just saying, we got over 60 registrants for this race, making it really popular here, week 13 of the regular IndyCar, the regular iRacing series, excuse me. So we watch right now Timothy Bauman head around the track, currently 13th, and just finished his second lap there. Someone who is on a flyer, Julian Martinez Pastor. I think that's the first time I've called his name here on the broadcast. Take a look at one of our new cameras that we're showing off this week. Looking out the front. Kind of set this up in my spare time. Julian moves up to 11th with a 105.94 on that last lap, so nice improvement there on the second qualifying lap, and thus far I think we've gotten just about everybody in, so we'll be going to be able to show you here the official results here in a moment once it goes official. And Julian just finishing up, so I guess it's a perfect time. Go ahead and take some of these details off the screen and let's bring up the points so we can see what kind of a situation we're looking at today. Well, it's Adam Crane in the lead of the championship. You can see there, of course, this being an official iRacing series, there are 3 drop weeks on the season out of 15, this being the 13th week now. That basically puts 1st, 2nd, and 3rd up there as having completed 12 of the 15 weeks already. So they've got the maximum number of weeks, and now these drivers, Matthias Kraus, Andrew Marquez, Adam Crane, and a number of others throughout the list there, they're just continuing to race in the next races and see if they can improve their standings at all. So, but you see Andrew Marquez taking over the 3rd position there in the standings, and so Marquez we'll talk about in a minute, but that predominantly due to the fact that Henry Bennett and Hugo Olsson, they only have 8 weeks to their name, and that means that overall they will not get the same chance at this championship as Adam Crane and the others who have completed 12 weeks, because simply just due to the math, they could only complete 11 weeks at this point. So those drivers, for all intents and purposes, are kind of forfeiting the championship to some extent, or at least forfeiting the overall potential for the win. And it didn't really work out for them strategy-wise to stop running in this Broadcast Friday session because the strength of fields kept staying too high in this Broadcast Friday for them to be able to make extra points over Adam Crane. And therefore, that's how we've arrived at this point in the championship. So Adam Crane, of course, is your points leader, and he will be starting on pole position with that world record 2021 world record IndyCar lap. We'll get set for green flag action today. I hope you're doing well out there. We've got Thomas Christensen says I should raise the volume a nudge. I don't know if you're saying on me or on the cars, but I'll raise it on both. And hopefully that fixes it. And Jason Lowe says he's not getting video. And he says it's all good now. So I guess everything working okay. Again, I apologize if there are any issues. We're trying to sort it out as fast as possible. Appreciate it's not a tumor stopping by. Thank you so much. Saying hello. Hello to you as well. Welcome to everybody joining us over on our YouTube channel live. Going to be bringing you the 13th round here from Road Atlanta. What an exciting day. Great group of racers here. Adam Crane, Jordan Lacey, who won the Wednesday race, is back with us. They're starting alongside each other. We'll get that starting grid up there on your screen here. So, as you can see there, Adam Crane starting alongside Jordan Lacey. The second row, it's going to be Rashad Craig and Dennis Fritz, Porcelli, and then Kraus. You can see the rest as we have to kind of get through this list quickly. They get going here and out onto the track around behind the pace car. So the story of today's race, as Adam Crane really accelerates there, and we watch to see some of the games that take place during the pace lap. Some jockeying back and forth, warming of tires, getting ready. You gotta, in real life, you're strapped in real tight, breathing real hard, heart rate comes up. And of course, in sim racing, all of those same things there. Your heart rate starts coming up, the nervousness starts coming up. What will happen in turn one? Where will I go? If I'm on the outside, if I'm on the inside. And then some really tight sections on this track as well. Of course. And there we go. Now I know it's Andrew Marquez, of course. Thank you so much for joining us over there, Andrew. And I'll look to see you in the booth here, hopefully in a few minutes. If you join us over on VirtualRacing.Network in the Discord. But we'll see if we can get Andrew in and talk to us. He's currently sitting third in the championship. And just great to have a great crowd joining us over. Absolutely. Jessica Zabin joining us also over there. And thought we might see, and we did see, in fact, I didn't catch him, but in 10th place, Will Lyon will be starting. Recently crowned PMRL champion. I mentioned that because Jessica, part of the PMRL administration family, and looking on as her newly crowned champion will do battle with Adam Crane and the likes of many others who have had much success in IndyCars.
Green, 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 green.
And we are green. Adam Crane leads us to the start. He's weaving on the front stretch as they head down into turn one. Adam Crane clearly in the lead, no problems there. Looking back at Jordan Lacey in second, and then Rashad Craig in third. Fritz now up on Rashad Craig. Actually, Craig dropping back there on the start. Porcelli staying tight in fifth. As we can see in the background, lots of action. Try to catch some more of that. Matthias Kraus, one of your championship leaders, mixing it up. Now down to seventh, having dropped a spot. Richard Crozier gaining a spot on the start, and just up in front, got some action between Fritz and Porcelli. Getting that black car of Dennis Fritz there, now challenging as looks like Fritz looks to have his way on the outside. Can't get it done. Rashad Craig holds the position just ahead in the blue and white and black machine. Just in front, David Porcelli. And already out to a 2.5 second advantage up from David Porcelli. It's Jordan Lacey and then Adam Crane up in the front. Watch on here. I'm keeping a look on our timing and scoring. And there you can see diving down the inside, Matthias Kraus. It's Will Lyon. Apologize for the overlays disappearing. I could say it's my software vendor's fault, but you probably heard that enough this season. And we had an incident there in the back. It looked like it involved Chris Willite, possibly, as we see, is that Timothy Bauman? And now Chris Willite spinning around. Timothy Bauman had a moment there, and Chris Willite also getting into, I guess they had a coming together, possibly popping a piece of gear off of that machine. We apologize for losing momentary coverage there, but we're back. Chris Willite, as you can see there, trying to recover now from that 20th position after that. But as we look at the front, this battle has materialized. I didn't know if it would. It's Adam Crane, your leader, now under attack by Jordan Lacey. Jordan Lacey, your winner on Wednesday, now looking to possibly challenge the champion. Something not many have been able to do. We go on board with Jordan Lacey, one of our new visor cams, not showing off too much information on the dash and still giving you a chance to see what it's like to drive from the cockpit here. Lacey tries to hunt down Adam Crane, but Crane responding that last time. Looks like Crane struggling a bit there through the corner, so need to kind of recap what the biggest news of the week is, and then we'll go back to some of this. The biggest news is iRacing, because it has switched over to Season 4. It's introduced a brand new tire model for the IndyCar, the Dallara R13, and that carries straight through into the IndyCar iRacing series. It's not as though they don't get the update. So the Wednesday race being heavily affected by that, as the drivers would have just received the update and had very, very little time to work on their setups. I guess the default baseline high downforce setup actually did work for some. So now it's only been 2 days, and normally these drivers have had a lot more time to work out the kinks out of an update, but forced to come out here and drive with this all-new tire model for both the red tires and blacks. And let me just tell you, I've done some laps, and it is a challenge. It's a totally different feeling car in terms of how hard you can ride those tires coming into and out of the corners. So as we watch Jordan Lacey now on those red tires following Adam Crane, I did hear from a driver ahead of time that the black tires may become a viable strategy over long runs. Still, I don't know myself, and we haven't determined exactly what direction we're going over at Last Lap Motorsports, my team, Spark VR, Last Lap Motorsports, but looking at this battle here, I would say possibly Lacey finding a little bit more time in the corners, maybe a tiny bit more downforce. And Crane ahead seems to have a little bit more speed on the straight. So maybe giving a little bit more flexibility to these drivers. Part of this tire change was there's a little bit of an aero balance difference as well. So that's going to put some of the strategy back in these drivers' hands as well. And other news over on the oval side, there will be 3 total tire sets that you can take, and that will heavily affect those races in some of the more caution-filled races. As we see Jordan Lacey now making the move down the inside, backs out of it, just took a little look. Take a look again at this on board from the roll hoop. Jordan Lacey, as he tries to do what almost nobody has been able to do this season, and that is get one up on Adam Crane. Many have tried, and as I said, just very, very few have succeeded, and that's been Adam Crane's ticket to success each week in and week out. So let's go back and take a look at a couple of incidents. This was earlier. This was Robin Glennox here. Unfortunately, a coming together with one of the IAR drivers that might be Alexis Newsom. That did not look too pleasant, and it looked like that was just straight into the back. In fact, that was Alexis Newsom. Here's how Alexis saw it. Well, wasn't much to see. It was an orange blur that crept up in the mirrors. So then we've had another incident with Makoto Yamasaki, who's now, I think, rescued that one, and no, I'm sorry, is in the pits after that incident, or possibly another incident. So then we have Jose Alvarez Martinez having a moment here a few minutes ago. Spinning, and wouldn't you know it, just as we were looking elsewhere, this happened on track. So there's Jordan Lacey in second, making a move down the inside of Adam Crane and taking over first position. So Jordan Lacey comes through on the reigning champion, current points leader Adam Crane, and Crane perhaps thinking of the championship, deciding that didn't need that position, at least not at this point of the race. And so Jordan Lacey is now your leader here. Last time by a 106.99, fast lap, well faster than Adam Crane, David Porcelli, Rashad Craig. So once again, that tire update perhaps really working over there in a couple of different drivers' favor. One of them being Jordan Lacey. Try to do a better job of going through the field here. Let's take a look at everyone. Jordan Lacey there in first, Adam Crane in second, not able to respond to the blistering pace yet of Jordan Lacey. There's David Porcelli just back 3 seconds from Adam Crane, now holding down that final podium spot. Top American currently running in the field at the moment. Just behind Rashad Craig. Down a spot on the start, but still hanging in there in fourth place, trying to keep that top 5. And now this is another driver, as I was mentioning, you may recognize from our Prime Meridian Racing League Wednesday broadcast. It's Will Lyon, recently crowned champion. Don't yet have that into his driver information here for this series, but we'll get it because that is a proud moment. And Will has already climbed 5 positions today from the 10th place starting spot, looking at a top 5. So getting that Ian Bell Project Cars face out there for some more exposure here on VirtualRacing.Network. And of course, making us all proud. You know, it's great. Oh, and we have a note. This is a big moment. Adam Crane, your current champion, suffering a moment here by himself, just spinning on the gas, wiping out the front, coming back across and taking out another driver. That was unfortunately Rashad Craig. A terrible moment there between those drivers, and Crane is in the pits, Craig is in the pits. What a moment. We also had a note that Porcelli went off track. I don't know if that was just to avoid. Yes, just squeaking through. Porcelli barely making it around that incident. What a moment. Well, let's go on board with Adam Crane and take one more look. See if we can tell exactly what happened. Just on the gas, and that could be part of what I was talking about, getting spun around several times. See Chris Willite there diving by, as well as Will Lyon. My goodness, what a difficult day it has turned into for the series champion and leading driver. And we talk about it every week when Adam is out there and just able to, as he's just about to go down a lap, unfortunately, every single week when Adam or any of the drivers are out there and they're executing so perfectly, you saw there just a little bit of oversteer, a little bit of over spinning up on those tires on exit. And I guess there just wasn't enough grip for the amount of throttle. That thing spun out of control, hitting the walls. That's just how easy it is to do. So now a recap of where we're at. It's Jordan Lacey, followed by David Porcelli, who's back 6.2 seconds. Will Lyon in third, 10.2 seconds back, from Jordan Lacey. So Will Lyon now up 7 positions, coming up on the back end of the now lap car of Chris Willite. And we did not see the incident that caught out Chris Willite, unfortunately. We also have another note here. Jose Alvarez Martinez having a moment, going off track and wiping out some cones. It's cone abuse. Usually comes with a big frowny face. Those poor cones don't deserve that abuse. They're out there doing the work that needs to be done to protect this track. Back to our leaders, Jordan Lacey. Back to this live picture of Lacey here, who has, dare I say, been looking Adam Crane-esque in his execution today. Had the pace. We saw him challenging the back of Adam Crane numerous times, but Jordan able to not only challenge, but get around the Crane, the champion, and now leads this race here on lap 13. So Don Day also joining us over in the YouTube chat room. Pleasure to have you around, Don. And for any of you that might be watching this elsewhere, of course, you can chat with us over in the YouTube VirtualRacing.Network chat room. You do want to subscribe, and then that lets you chat. And of course, if you like this video over on YouTube, they will constantly advertise VirtualRacing.Network broadcasts at you, which if you like Indy cars and you like kind of the direction we're headed here, then that's a good thing to do. So David Porcelli actually with a very clever race today, staying out of trouble, keeping at the front. The American now in second place. Gotta love the custom graphics with his name right on the side. In case you forgot, it's David Porcelli in second right now. Will Lyon just getting around another car there. Looked a little rough to try to do that. That was Jose Alvarez Martinez. Will had to get around there. And then you don't look very far back. This guy doing it as well. Will now up into the podium position. But I tell you what, this driver here, no stranger to podiums. As you saw, Martinez struggling there in the back, not making contact, I don't believe, with Will Lyon. But now Will up into that podium spot with Matthias Kraus behind. Matthias has had some great runs here on Broadcast Friday. Currently sitting up there in the points, and I can't even believe I was racing with some of these racers at the beginning of this season, Matthias included, and I think he was all the way back in 8th or 9th in the championship. It's just been amazing to watch some of these drivers climb up as they stick it out. Here's Daniel Manzano, the Brazilian driver we haven't even been talking about. But great to see him back today, up 7 spots with those incidents. And we wait for our first of our pit stops from the leaders. Mr. Crozier kind of blinking out on us. That's not uncommon for the Irish driver. And Julian Martinez Pastor here in 7th spot, up 4 spots as well. See just behind Fausto Bergmeister and Chris Willite. They're having a moment pulling off the track. Not sure what that was all about, but Willite, what happened? And we had Fritz having a moment as well. Let's go back to wondering if this has anything to do with Jose Alvarez Martinez, because here goes Chris Willite to try to get around Martinez. Both of these drivers a lap down, and then moments later in this very next corner we have an incident. Now, was it Willite's doing, or did he get helped? And it looks like he definitely got helped, as those two drivers have it coming together. Well, if Chris is the protesting type, I guess he's also got the broadcast to work with there. Been an unfortunate day for Chris. And so, more bad news. As I mentioned, where do we even begin? If you guys could just stop crashing this much, we could actually cover this decently. My goodness, what a crash fest this is turning into. There's Dennis Fritz struggling with those black tires. Fritz had made a couple of stops, and I don't know if that car maybe wasn't quite fixed right, but had already made a stop. So now Fritz out of the race there. Fritz is very talented and kind of a bit of a surprise there. Alexis Newsom now having another moment. The first one not at all her doing, but on those black tires, having a little bit of a washout there in turn one, but gathering it back together. Fortunately, that could have been disastrous. Alexis Newsom, of course, winning at Gateway, and that was a pleasure to get to interview her. One of those drivers that's climbing up the ranks quite quickly in the IndyCar series. And we've had a moment where we've stopped receiving notifications. People are crashing. So we'll go back and we'll take a look through the field once again. It's Jordan Lacey, your leader, having come through, gotten around Adam Crane earlier. Currently executing an exceptionally high level out there, putting down some seriously fast laps. That time a 107.37. Now, Will Lyon is actually your fastest man on track, or woman, for that matter, or anything for that matter. 106.81 for Will Lyon. That is his fastest of the race, but not the fastest lap of the race. That belongs to Jordan Lacey thus far with a 106.07, thus not clipping yet that race world record, which is a 105.6. So will we see that? That is a good question. Lacey is the one that's had really the most pace out here today. Potentially when they start dropping in some fast laps here and start pushing that push to pass, which Jordan Lacey currently has 8 remaining. Yeah, then we'll be looking to see whether or not they can break that world record for the race as well, which was set on Wednesday night. So David Porcelli in second, Will Lyon in third. Now Will has been setting consecutively faster laps than the two in front. We'll see if we can get that up there on the screen, help you to see some of the details of what's happening out there on the track. And there you can also see the track map. Follow it around. You'll see your favorite driver's initials there. You can identify where they're at in relation to the leader. But Will Lyon, a 106.56 last lap. This time by, see what Will can hang in there. The leader, Jordan Lacey, a 107.05. David Porcelli, a 106.86. And Will Lyon, another fast lap, just 0.03 of a second slower than his previous fastest lap, a 106.59 that time. Definitely reeling in the leaders, just 3.4 seconds. That gap to David Porcelli and Jordan Lacey up in front. This driver just behind as well, just 1.55 seconds back from Will Lyon. So as much as you thought Will might be the fastest man out here, not so fast, says Matthias. A 106.28 fastest lap of the race for Matthias on primary tires. So might we start seeing those primary tires starting to show their real grit and potential for strategy, as Matthias and Will Lyon both on those primary tires, and it looks like at the end of the stint they are super quick. So Kraus now bails for the pit lane at lap 21. Kind of surprised the others have not. We'll try to see what kind of strategy they're working, perhaps just to try to overcut and then have a really short final stop. But Kraus is in, also Daniel Manzano in, Richard Crozier now coming into the pits, you see there just behind. Julian Martinez Store into the pits as well. It's moving a number of drivers up. We'll go back and take a look at your leader, Jordan Lacey, diving down the inside of a lap car there. Makoto Yamasaki, the 21. And again, we hope that you are indeed enjoying the broadcast out there. Streaming live from the West Coast, United States. And I'm getting to feature all of these great drivers from around the world as Lacey, Porcelli, both pit, and that will actually now give over the lead to your PMRL champion, Will Lyon, who looked like another driver was going quite slow there. Well, that was Yamasaki, but Lyon struggling, now going to have to try to find a way to get past some of this lap traffic. And of course, that's some of the benefit of pitting earlier. You know, you might find that clear space out there where you don't get slowed up by this lap traffic at all. So we have Alexis Newsom into the pits. Yamasaki going off track yet again. Not sure how many off tracks that makes for Yamasaki, but it's quite a few. So currently, and there you can see Will Lyon finally making that pit stop. I was just trying to figure out, is there some like two-stop strategy or one-stop strategy that I don't know about? Can you somehow make it to 30 laps? But nope. In fact, it will be a two-stopper, but this will cut a significant amount of time off of one of the two remaining, or excuse me, off of the final stop that Will have to make. Just depends on how long Will will need to go. And Jordan Lacey now coming around. So a pretty good, so Lacey that time, a 1:33.22 to David Porcelli's 1:33.97. A little bit faster than Porcelli on the outlap. And Lacey up into the lead once again with Porcelli in second, Will Lyon in third, 9.5 seconds. So Lyon going back to the, not going to the red tires, going back to the black tires. What a gamble, but we did see it starting to pay off there in that last stint. Will this gamble work out? You're getting to see it live here on VirtualRacing.Network. Once again, pleasure to have you with us as we do our best to make it seem like a professional broadcast today. Just gathering up the sticks as they come falling out of our basket. And what a great race we're having. It's Will Lyon here in third place, the PMRL champion, making a run through the field. For those of you just joining us a little bit later, it was Adam Crane, your champion, who was on the pole, was leading the race, suffering a major issue. First, getting passed by Jordan Lacey, who was your winner on Wednesday. Jordan now on your screen in the number 3 car there. But first getting passed, and then Adam Crane suffering from a little overspin on the tires on exit onto the back straightaway. That sending him across the track into the path of Rashad Craig, another one of the front-running drivers who unfortunately was taken out of the race. David Porcelli, who now finds himself in second by 5.6 seconds, was very close to getting caught up in that incident, managing to go off track to avoid. And fortunately, how it worked out for Rashad Craig going the other direction and getting clipped. Porcelli managing to squeeze 3 positions higher than the qualifying and up into second at the moment. Will Lyon is flying around here in third, and that's a story to watch, but on track at the moment, a 105.99 as we perhaps start to creep up on that world record time. Jordan Lacey showing that Wednesday was no fluke, and I tell you what, 4,615 iRating, you know, 499 safety rating license for Jordan as well. Irish drivers really extremely talented, so you wouldn't second guess that based on the stats on paper for sure, but actually proving it in the race is a totally separate thing, and we've seen Jordan not make any mistakes thus far, really looking fantastic with racecraft. And anytime that you can do a pass like that and hold your own against Adam Crane, I think you're really showing something strong here. So can Jordan make it 2 in a row? That is the question. That last lap a little bit slower, 106.43, did not burn a push to pass. So Porcelli still in second, and Will Lyon, as we look at Porcelli there, and I believe that Chris Willite ahead. It's so distinctive, that purple and black from Willite. Pretty much know him anywhere from any angle on that car. In fact, it is. So Will Lyon, though, continuing on those black tires, as is Matthias Kraus, who has now crept to just within a second. As we look out the back of the Slightly Mad Studios machine with Will Lyon. That is the gap back to 4th place, Matthias Kraus. And Kraus, that time of 106.87, Lyon of 106.77. So you're trying to keep track of the delta difference of the times between the reds and the black tires. There does not seem to be a huge difference. It's perhaps in that first 6 or 7, 8, 10 laps, whatever it is, that the red tires have the advantage, the alternate tires have the advantage, but after that it looks like it starts to even out and the blacks start to come up. Take one more look at that weather. It is 100 degrees Fahrenheit on the track. That is crucial to determining the performance of these cars and what would be the favored tire to have out there. And it's looking like the changes that they've made, at least from my standpoint, have brought these black tires to become really competitive with the alternates. And I just have to say, I mean, time will tell. More and more races will go by. We'll get a chance to really see how this affects the racing. But it does appear to me as though, I can't say it necessarily makes the car easier to drive, but what they've done is made this car much more realistic to drive in some certain aspects. And we really appreciate iRacing stepping up, listening to what we have to say as drivers, talking about the tires and their degradation and their heat buildup, and trying to work with us to get us some really realistic machines to race around. Really appreciate that. So we'll keep a look on this battle between Matthias and Will Lyon just for a bit longer, as it appears as though Will Lyon is still struggling to get around some lap traffic here. That could be due to the fact that Willite is on the red tires, and there Will Lyon going by and Willite diving between the two leaders. We look back. What will happen as you see Kraus now diving down the inside? No, can't do it. Porcelli burning a push to pass off screen. And Kraus now a ways back. Go back to Kraus, looking back at Willite. Now at the nose of Kraus. Another one of our new cameras here, situated just on top of the car. Looking down past the aero screen. Quick note here, Fausto Bergmeister here just having a moment, going off track, blinking out, destroying the car a little bit, and now it's back together. The beauties of netcode kind of disappearing and coming back onto the track. Got about 17 notes that Fausto has gone off track and come back on. So there we go. Taking a look at Matthias Kraus in fourth, up 2 spots today. We look back at Daniel Manzano, the number 9 car there, flying through the picture, up 7 spots. Great day for Daniel. Brazilian driver is currently sitting in that top 5 spot. See if that can materialize further. Kind of skipped over Richard Crozier there, but Crozier in 6th, up a spot. That's about where we've been seeing Richard throughout the season on Broadcast Friday. Just right there, top 5 performance, top 5 capability, and for all that work, it says here that Richard, his difficulty coming into the race, he's got this huge iRating, so unfortunately he's only going to get about 8 iRating if he finishes in 5th, as he blinks out there a little bit. But as we look back at, for example, there are these 2 drivers battling it out. Julian Martinez Pastor there, you can see in the center of the camera, and Kazuhiro Shiba knee-deep in a battle for that 7th spot. Riding around with the TM Custom logos. Check them out over on Twitter, it says, on their rear wing. As we look back at Kazuhiro Shiba, our Japanese driver, our second Japanese driver in the field, as well as Makoto Yamasaki. That battle may be a little bit more done than we thought. And the green and white machine here of Laura Gearhart, another driver that we have not mentioned on camera. Apologize for that. I love to run through the field and mention everybody. Just didn't occur with Laura and all of the incidents that we've had today. But she had her own little incident. That's good because we got a chance to mention her name. Love seeing that green and white machine out there. It's like, even when I'm racing, you know, it's hard to stay angry at somebody that drinks the same coffee that you do. So, back up to the front, we look at this beautiful black and blue machine of Jordan Lacey flying around the road Atlanta circuit. We're over halfway done here. And we watch this one continue to play out. It's turned into quite an interesting battle of tire managing, both from the standpoint of learning how to use these tires over the course of the stint, but then also the tire degradation starting to point a couple of fingers that the days of the red tire strategy may be over. So we can see now the time starting to stabilize. Jordan Lacey, a 106.91 that time by on the red tires. David Porcelli, a 107.02, and Will Lyon, a 107.16. Matthias Kraus, a 107.01. Again, those 2 drivers, Lyon and Kraus, on the black tires. And though they've been losing at the first part of the stint, they may be able to make it up on the back half of the stint. Got to note that Adam Crane is still out there fighting hard. You got to give it to him. He's several laps down now. But we'll take a look at the champ there. And I'm not going to call it officially in his favor for this season, but we'll call him thus far. I mean, unless something changes, he is the unofficial champ for this season. And I suppose we can talk about it for a minute. Yeah, and Adam is, of course, not just doing, you know, amazing things here. I've raced against Adam in the Elite, Indy Elite, frequently fast there. Indy Open Series. He's one of the most talented drivers in the entire iRacing IndyCar paddock, let's say, and is able to do some amazing things behind the wheel. That is for certain. So Adam suffering from a difficult day today, but still the champion wants to get back out there. It reminds me of somebody like Sebastian Bourdais or somebody else sometimes who's just like, no, let's just keep going. Let's get the points. It's just doesn't matter. Let's just finish this race up. We came here to race today. Let's do it. And also, you know, if you're somebody like Adam Crane, as unfortunately we're seeing that as Alexis Newsom came out of the pits, perhaps, struggling with those black tires under as they're cold coming out of the pits. Unfortunate for Alexis. That's something that somebody was talking about, especially the other day. Got to watch out for those black tires when they're cold. So just so much to learn, and that's why I'm saying for Adam Crane today, perhaps even though you're back, it's what a lot of real life IndyCar, NASCAR drivers do when you have a wreck, it takes you down a few laps or something. You just go out there and treat it like an extended test session. Why not? You know, see what the tires do, run some more run-along stint, and you know, see how the track changes and see how it affects your tires with this many cars out there lapping at the same time, which is kind of different than when it's just yourself out there or it's a simulated test session, that sort of thing. So Crane has a lot to learn from these tires to apply to the next season of road and fixed for the iRacing series and the official series. And of course, this is a great time to learn it here in the IndyCar iRacing series, especially in a race where you don't necessarily need to win. So we watch here Jordan Lacey now dealing with traffic going forward. Has not been a problem thus far. Looking excellent here on Broadcast Friday. Speaking of iRating, you know, with a 5,000 iRating back in 5th, Richard Crozier would only get 8 increase in iRating. Lacey stands to get a 64 increase in iRating if those calculations are correct. So, you know, in one of these weeks, week 13, where there's so much unofficial action going on, this is a great chance to get out there and get some actual iRating. So we're so glad to see great field turnout, not just for this race, but for each and every race. It's been fantastic from my own standpoint, getting to do this coverage. I had no idea whether we were going to have small fields or large fields or what, but getting to do the top split coverage, I think we've only had a single split in these races like once or twice. So, you know, getting to see great turnout on Fridays and perhaps this broadcast bringing some of that emphasis. It's just been great to see the turnout. So I want to thank all of the competitors who are coming out week in and week out to this race and sticking with it all season long. It's definitely made for some great broadcasts and some great moments on broadcast as well. Some really close battles. Today, though, is definitely about the tires, the new tires, and you can see that I want to say all of the cream of the crop are not struggling with it, but of course we did see Adam Crane struggle with it, so it does show that he is human and can occasionally make a mistake. But Will Lyon, your recently crowned PMRL, Prime Meridian Racing League champion, here with a mirror full of Matthias Kraus. I don't know, I've seen Will Lyon around so much racing on iRacing before that it's very possible he's run with Matthias Kraus at races in the past for sure. These two race a lot on the service. But if Matthias or anyone else thinks they're going to get up behind Will Lyon and drive him to make a mistake, I have some news for you. I watched an entire season of Will Lyon not get pressured by anybody behind. So if Matthias wants to get this done, it is not going to be a scare factor that is going to get it done. It is going to be a legit pass down the inside. That being said, we've seen some great moves from Matthias in the past. Looks like Matthias getting a little bit of a run here. Come across the start-finish stripe, and there you can see The tires really starting to fall off for Jordan Lacey, but they're coming on for Will Lyon and Matthias Kraus. Lacey that time a 108.52, Porcelli a 107.07 on those red tires. Will Lyon and Matthias Kraus a 106.73, a dead heat between them on that last lap. Instead of the gap time, I'm going to put up the best time there for just a second so you can see, I'm sorry, their last time for just a second so you can see as we watch this battle unfold. We look from Kraus's point of view. Will he be able to chase down Lyon, potentially take that final spot of the podium away? That is the question. Now down to 0.3 of a second as these drivers both in the 106s. Porcelli and Lacey now up into the 107s. It's going to be 7 seconds to gain for Will Lyon to get up to Porcelli. But it looks like the gap is coming down with Jordan Lacey. So I can see Adam Crane now into the pits, and Kraus takes a look on Will Lyon. Will we see the move? That is the question. Continue to watch what's going on up in front. That gap time has closed down to just about 3 seconds between Lacey and Porcelli. Now the overall gap about 9.5 seconds from Lacey back to Will Lyon. So we will find out here as Lacey and Porcelli back into the 106s. Lyon and Kraus continue in the 106s. So the gap doesn't decrease that time by, and Kraus does not send it down the inside of Lyon. Could have a moment here with Kazuhiro Shiba. And Flat Spot Racing, the namesake of the team, Flat Spot Racing, and ironically, Shiba would have had a flat spot in real life, but of course they don't flat spot yet on iRacing. Yet. Maybe that will be coming eventually, and that would really change some things as far as penalizing some drivers and the mistakes they make. But it's not a thing yet, so these tires already a handful enough for these drivers to have to deal with. And Porcelli now into the pits from second. So as we are working lap 41, Porcelli trying to make this an even 20-20-20 race. And that will give over second place once again to Will Lyon, and Matthias Kraus will move back into third. So we watch to see the type of laps that Will Lyon and Kraus can do, a 106.9, a 106.85 that last time by. So those drivers not yet under their fastest times of the day thus far. We might see that on this lap potentially. And here's some more interesting strategy news. Jordan Lacey here, your leader on screen, has 5 push-to-passes remaining, just burning 1 of them. But Matthias Kraus here has gotten by Will Lyon while we were looking at Lacey, and Lyon now trying to get back around. Little lockup from Kraus as Lyon now wants that position back, and Kraus dives to the pits. Interesting move from Kraus. We'll go back and take a look at it. We didn't get a chance to see it. Of course, we were looking on the other direction. And it looks like perhaps the lap car of Robin Glennox maybe slowed Will Lyon just a touch. I'm just guessing there, not sure, but it looked like Matthias just jumped on that. So let's see if we can go back and watch that again. As Kraus is now in the pits. So we'll go back to the live. Well, if we can go back and see it, that would be amazing. Here we go. And we'll see if we can back it up. I want to see how this actually unfolds here for a moment. Go to the roll bar. And it does appear as though trying to get around Robin Glenix, it just opened the door just enough, and Matthias being super heads up, able to get that pass done on Will Lyon, and I can just tell the steam coming out of the helmet there on Will Lyon, I'm sure. We go back to the live picture, though, with Jordan Lacey now into the pits. Taking service, it is Will Lyon. We'll come back to who has taken over the lead. If he were racing in the PMRL, he'd get a bonus point right now, but it's not how it works in official iRacing rules. Speaking of the PMRL, if you want to join Will Lyon out there on the track, new season coming up just in October. Successful first season saw Will Lyon and Alex Salmon of TM Racing battle it out in the final race of the season, and what an amazing race it was. I don't even have words for it, so I would just say you need to go and watch it. But I would say that the series overall had a very, very clean first season. Extremely clean, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Great competition, excellent drivers, happening on Wednesdays at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, which would be 3:30 Eastern time, and I believe that is 8:30 BST, British summertime. So for any of you European drivers who this race might work out for, that can be a great series happening on Wednesdays. Just head over to official PMRL on Twitter, and then, of course, you can contact them there or just apply through iRating.com. And it would be great to see you out there in October for Season 2. Meanwhile, in other news, while we wait for some more shakeup here and some drivers to be a little closer to each other for battling, and we wait for Will Lyon to come in for his final stop of the day, we have just announced here on VirtualRacing.Network that we will be covering the Thursday, I want to make sure I get this right, 2015 being 8:15 p.m. GMT Indy Fixed Series race. So the new season just starting next week, and we will be covering all of those races live weekly. Thursday 2015, the 8:15 time slot GMT. So if that works for you also, that will be great to have you join us over there. Just putting together some promotions for that now. And it should be a lot of fun this season. We'll be covering the whole Season 4 for the Indy Fixed Series on that Thursday time slot. Already got some great names interested. Three Crowns Racing, and a number of others. You can actually check out our promos that we release over on our Facebook and our Twitter. So back to this race. Jordan Lacey, you see it there on the screen. Purple final time, a 1:05.61, and that does eclipse the 2021 world record time set earlier this week, 1:05.61. We've now, Adam Crane has taken the qualifying world record for 2021, and Jordan Lacey now taking the race world record, doing so with some push-to-pass help. David Porcelli here in second place after that final pit stop. Both of these drivers, the top two, 1:06.13 last time by for Lacey, a 1:06.53 for Porcelli, and Will Lyon, having made the pit stop. We wait to see what kind of time Will can turn in this time, but now that gap has grown to 11.5 seconds to the leader Jordan Lacey, 9.5 to David Porcelli. So unfortunately, I think the all-black tire strategy of Will Lyon will not exactly pay off, but we wait to see how the end of these stints work out with 15 to go. Matthias Kraus definitely lost some ground in that pit stop exchange. Of course, if you recall, Matthias Kraus getting by Will Lyon there just before coming into the pits. And that did not slow Will Lyon enough to cause the undercut to work. So Matthias losing about 2.7 seconds adrift of Will Lyon. And again, maybe in another 10 laps, we'll see this close up again as these black tires really start to turn on for these drivers. Take a look further back. It is Daniel Manzano. And once again, up 7 spots today. Fantastic run for Manzano. Showing very well here on Broadcast Fridays for sure. Going to be looking forward to continuing to cover the final 2 rounds of the season for some of these other drivers. Keep coming back week in and week out. They always have a chance at that podium position or a top 5. Manzano holding down 5th at the moment. Crozier is in 6th, up a spot. So again, looking good in kind of that top 5-ish territory. Julian Martinez Pastor had an incident earlier, but has been looking good since then, up 4 spots. Currently on your screen. And then Kazuhiro Shiba, having off track a little bit ago, qualified 8th, now in 8th. But, you know, the beauty of this is with the 2,802 iRating, just finishing in 8th right now for Kazuhiro Shiba, would get 42 iRacing. So, you know, almost getting as much as the win would be, or second place would be for somebody like Jordan Lacey or David Porcelli. But in fact, just coming in 8th, it's a fantastic finish it would be for Kazuhiro Shiba. Robin Glennick's one of our top drivers in the championship, and it just seems like, now, you know, Rob is running top 10, 9th place, great place to be in, top split. Broadcasted race, you know, fantastic place, but it just seems like we never get to the races where Rob is one of the top 5 drivers, and it's unfortunate because Rob is a great racer who is doing well in all of the IndyCar series and continues to improve week in, week out, month in, month out. So, you know, as iRacing heads into another season, and Glennick's a true veteran, now somebody you need to really keep an eye on as he continues to mature. Timothy Bauman back here in 10th, final spot in the top 10. And up 4 spots today. Kind of just getting it done here. Unfortunately had an off track, and did these two have it coming together? Let's go back in the notes and see what happened. I don't think so. I think this was separately. This was Glennick's having an off. And then this was separately Bauman having an off. Yep, and again mowing down those cones. 4 cones. Some of the hardest workers out there. This is Daniela Taubert having a moment. Pulling it back together there. Currently running in 11th. Go back to the live picture with Jordan Lacey up at the front. And we are coming up on 10 to go. Lacey, masterful drive today. Now 3 seconds over David Porcelli. It's not that much, to be quite honest. It's not enough of a gap, as we've seen with Adam Crane and others. If you were to have a spin or spin up those tires, yeah, if you were to spin up those tires, unfortunately, on the curbing, definitely could have an issue and find yourself losing that win. And, you know, David Porcelli just behind, 4,552 iRating. You don't get there by accident. Once again, like talking about Matthias Kraus, how he was just sitting there waiting, ready for the moment when the opportunity would come up. And I think that's one of the keys. A lot of times when you're running so closely, as you see Dennis Fritz just in front, not exactly yielding, but Porcelli, and he doesn't have to, I mean, you know, he's not really blocking either, but Porcelli here trying to get by, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes you don't have pace on everybody. Sometimes you're almost evenly matched, and you know it would be quite a send to try to send it down the inside on somebody. So you really can't you can't make that kind of pass that you want to make. In this case, he's getting by Fritz, who I think he does have some good pace on, but sometimes you don't, and you just have to wait for that opportunity to open up. And once it opens, then you can take advantage of it. And so some of these drivers like Porcelli, and kind of skipped over Lyon there, but Lyon here in third, some of these drivers are just experts at doing that. They may not necessarily be the fastest driver on track. Kraus works by a lap car and is about 2.8 seconds back from Will Lyon now. And so you just have to wait for them to have an off track or have a moment, or as we saw with Will Lyon, get it crossed up with a lap car, and that can be all it takes for fourth place to become third place for Matthias Kraus or David Porcelli. So we are officially 9 laps to go. Lacey trying to hang on to this one, up 3.8 seconds over David Porcelli back there in the black car. Guess it's 2 black cars. One's a black and blue and one's a black and red for Lacey behind. I mean, Porcelli behind. Getting a comment in YouTube that it's better than NBC coverage, and well, Thomas, I appreciate that. I if I had just one, let's just say 1/1000th of the budget that NBC had, I think we could do even better. But we of course are presenting all of the IndyCar iRacing series races commercial free, advertising free, totally free of charge to anybody or anything, because we want to, and it's cool. So I hope you're enjoying it out there, bringing you the 4K action. And if I can do anything that even reminds you of a professional broadcast, I am so happy. Just a fan like everyone else too, you know, watched so many broadcasts over the years, and it's my chance to jump in and have some fun. And that's another reason why I'm inviting anybody who does want to join in and have fun with us. Yes, we are making it better and more professional and better images, but we're also signing on broadcasters for our upcoming races. So anybody who wants to join me up here in the booth and has some experience, and or might want to cut your teeth on it, feel free to contact me over in Discord, anywhere, YouTube. Let me know that you do have an interest. And I've already gotten some great contacts thus far. Also, any of the drivers that are part of this series or regular IndyCar series driver, if you want to stop in and say hello during the race, say hello to me and we'll get you in, find out what you're up to. So of course, also on the calendar, we're just about to make some announcements, so you should definitely watch our Twitter feed as well as Facebook. It's basically the same thing, but we will be releasing some news, not just regarding the Indy Fix series that we'll be doing, but we'll be putting out a couple of helpful graphics as far as that goes, but still another series that we'll be covering that we have not yet announced yet. And we can see Porcelli hanging it out on those tires. Excuse me, on exit there. What? That was something else. Let's see if we can go. I just want to back that straight up and take a look at Porcelli as he exited the corner. Watch this. Some opposite lock there. Porcelli getting it sideways a little bit, exiting the corner. That was fun to watch. And these drivers able to play with those tires, those rear tires, so much more now than they ever could in the past. Go back to the lap times. Well, David Porcelli, a 106.61 that time, 3.8 seconds back from Lacey. Lacey a 107.24. So you know, Lacey hasn't been able to just be the fastest car out there the whole race. And that may be one of the things that we see, as we can tell that Will Lyon was just on the button, down to 6 push-to-passes remaining, and getting a 106.66 for Will Lyon that last time by. Matthias Kraus, a 107.09. And that time by Jordan Lacey, a 106.85. So that's my point is, you know, depending on whether you're passing traffic or not, or having to deal with another driver making a move on you, or you're trying to make a move on them, it can all play a factor, let alone if you get an input wrong into a corner. Sometimes what we see is drivers really not totally consistent in terms of being able to stay exactly in the same time, in the exact same second bracket. But it doesn't matter when you're a driver with as much pace as Jordan Lacey, because he might dip to a 107.2 one lap, but then the very next lap he's back at a 106.8. So, you know, you'd like to be more consistent if you can, but it's not always up to you. And so you just do the best that you can. So you saw Lacey working around Willite. Willite had an off track just a minute ago. So I had a note that Timothy Bauman having another moment here. Bauman running in your 10th spot, getting it a little too wide, and doing some lawn mowing, bringing it back to the live shot. So we go back through the field, and it's Jordan Lacey here on lap 57, coming up to the end of this one. David Porcelli not far down the field, only 4.5 seconds after 56 laps. So, you know, not very far back. I believe that's Alexis Newsom having a little bit of an issue exiting the corner there. Will Lyon on the button. 4 to go, 4 remaining. Lyon has gotten that gap back to kind of where it was. So, long-term green flag at 100 degrees track temp at Road Atlanta. It would appear as though the gap times do stabilize at the end of the stint, because it's right back to 9 seconds from Lyon up to Lacey, and that's right where it was at the end of the last stint. So, I mean, myself being a driver, and a number of the people that are watching, they're drivers as well, I think we're all interested right now to see some real-life data, what happens out there with these cars circulating. But very interesting how this black tire strategy may be a viable one, especially as it gets hotter and the red tires begin to degrade more. We see something like a 105, 110 track temp. That may be the beginning of the black tires being, the primary tires being the dominant tire. So hopefully that is the case, and we will see even more strategy coming into play here in iRacing as we get into the very final races here in the IndyCar iRacing series for 2021, and then start season 4. And speaking of which, it's a brand new season also on Sunday for the U.S. IndyCar League. Just having their first race last week, and now looking at 11 more to go. So if you're looking to get into a Sunday morning championship and you're a driver wants to be part of a very clean, gentlemanly crowd, the term for, you know, clean racing, really gentleman racing. But if you want to be part of a group like that, feel free to look them up over on iRacing and apply. U.S. IndyCar League, Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And we watch these drivers continue to circulate on lap 59. So just one more lap after this one will remain for Jordan Lacey coming around. And now starting that final lap. Can Jordan hang on, make it 2 for 2? Irish driver trying to get something done that we haven't seen from any other driver recently. that is not only take the fight to Adam Crane, but do so in convincing fashion and sweep both the Wednesday and Friday races. I'm not sure that we have seen that. I'll have to contact my statistician, who's part of that NBC budget that we don't have, and ask them the question as to whether we've seen that that before. We look back in second place, the American David Porcelli. Heck of a run, up 3 spots thus far. Will Lyon back here working on Dennis Fritz, but Will has had an amazing day, up 7 spots again. Just finishing it up here, but here comes Jordan Lacey to take that checkered flag, and he's done it. He's taken 2 in a row. Congratulations, what an amazing finish for Lacey. Porcelli takes second place. Will Lyon does bring it home in third. Final step of the podium. What a day for Will to step in, take that third spot. Matthias Kraus, great championship day. Probably would have liked to get some more points, though. Doesn't really, I mean, is just trying to defend second place there in the championship at the moment. So, it's not necessary that he get more points today, but it would have probably have been something that, you would have liked to get as many as you can heading into the final rounds. But it really wasn't anybody else's race to talk about today except for these 2 drivers. Adam Crane, who suffered a really uncharacteristic, difficult day. You thought with the world record qualifying lap and everything that it might have been Adam's day today, but it in fact turned out to be the second driver we were talking about, and that's this driver, Jordan Lacey, who continues to celebrate, wave to the fans. It's on the back stretch now, waving to the fans there in the RVs on the outside, and probably can't really believe that he's taken 2 in a row, and an amazing, amazing job for Jordan Lacey. And so we can go ahead and now take a look at our final standings from today's race. There it is on your screen. Jordan Lacey coming through with the win. An amazing finish. Did not look like he had any difficulty at all today, not even close. No real challengers from the back. I think about the closest thing that we saw, I mean, David Porcelli hung great in terms of just finishing 3.27 seconds there at the end, back from Lacey. But really the closest thing that we saw was the challenge from Will Lyon and Matthias Kraus, who gambled on those black tires. And I'll tell you, if conditions had been a little different, you might have seen a really strange thing, and that is the black tires being the preferred tire today. We have not seen that necessarily been the case in the past, but today it was Jordan Lacey's day on the red tires, getting it done. They're finishing absolutely super strong finish and getting that victory. So we take a look now over in our broadcast booth, and we're waiting for a couple of drivers to file in. They're just wiping the sweat off of their brow at the moment. You can see Jordan Lacey truly celebrating. What an amazing, amazing race there. And, of course, we'll have to wait until after Sunday to know how this will shake out the championship. But I tell you what, one of the other drivers who had an amazing day besides Jordan is somebody that we've been talking about, frankly, every single week over in the PMRL broadcasts. And let's see if we can get him in here. Will Lyon, are you safely out of the cockpit, and can we talk now? Can you hear me? Not sure if we're getting Will yet. And Will, can you hear me? Not quite able to pick up Will's mic. And he's telling me he's actually, I think he's just doing a debrief right now. And I'll see if I can see if we can get that straightened out. It's worth waiting for this great
Hello,
interview.
can you hear me, Trevor?
I can totally hear you now.
We got there.
I was gonna go make an adjustment to it. Yeah, thank you so much, Will. Thanks for joining us. And hey, PMRL champ, what an amazing thing! I had no idea we were gonna see you in the race. I saw you in the practice. You set an amazing fast time in the practice. I thought maybe we'll get a chance to see Will do it in the race, and you come all the way from 10th spot qualifying up to 3rd. What a masterful drive. And congratulations. And unfortunately, we had, Will was...
Hello, sorry.
There we go. Something happened and now he's come back. But I don't know how much of that you heard, but yeah, congratulations, Will. PMRL champ, and you qualified 10th. You worked your way through the field. You narrowly avoided an incident early on, but you kept your head down and amazingly done. 3rd place. Congrats.
Yeah, cheers, Trevor. I've been really enjoying just trying to get to grips with the new tires, and so I thought, why not sign up for an official race? I've not done one for months and months, and I had a lot of fun out there. Matthias was hunting me down the whole race, and he did get ahead of me just at the end of the 2nd stint there, and I did wonder if he was going to go on alternates, and really pushed to maintain the gap, but he fell behind and kept me honest the whole way. I was sort of using my push to pass at the end there just to keep the gap as well as I could, but it was great fun.
Matthias did give you a heck of a challenge, and I kind of mentioned that on broadcast that in fact I've seen you having some drivers sitting on your gearbox trying to pressure you. Did not look like you were necessarily fazed by Matthias, but he did manage to get around you there before he pitted. I can imagine you were a little bit chuffed on that one, because it looked like you got held up by a car that was getting lapped, and that's what allowed him to get by. Was that what happened?
Yeah, I do remember a car being there, but I don't think that was the main reason. I think he probably just nailed his pit stop better than me, to be honest. So, no, I have to say the back markers were actually really good today. They dived out of the way a lot quicker than what I was expecting sometimes. So, no, they were really good. So yeah, it's just it was just really just trying to hit numbers again as usual for me. I did a bit of fuel saving to try and make that final pit stop a bit shorter than everyone else's, and it seemed like it paid off. The tires are so different now, and it's great. The rear end actually slides now, which isn't quick, but it's a lot of fun. The only problem I'm having with it at the minute is just I can't quite feel what's happening. It's more visual, and audio is sort of the way I'm learning what the car's doing, but we'll get there, I'm sure. But really fun, and the pace out top there was incredible, and I'm sure Adam would have probably been up there P1 if he hadn't had that incident as well. So it's just really good fun. It's been over. It's like a flash, that race.
It's amazing, and feel free to talk about those tires, because I think this is one of the biggest. It's in some ways as big or perhaps bigger than the Season 1 update in terms of what it actually brings to us. And now it's leveraged the black tires, the primary tires, with the alternate tires. And in 100-degree track temp, we saw you do something amazing. Did you not go... I believe you went all three stints on the black tires, as well as Matthias Kraus did, and we could just watch at the end of the stints, you were gaining so much time on the leaders who seemed to really struggle with those red tires at the end of the stint. Is that about what you found?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just as big a change as anything else we've had. Is the primaries are a lot more viable. As you say, I'm even finding that as early as lap 7 or 8, I'm going quicker on the primaries than what I am on the alternates, which is, the polar opposite. We were
Absolutely.
The primaries only really came into their own on the last time, although I would say towards the end of a stint rather than that early. So it totally changes things up. And I did think about doing the alternates at the end there as well, but I just felt like I think it was 18 laps I had to do, and I just thought I'd rather have the primaries to lean on at the end, just in case I do need to battle with anyone. But yeah, that's that's one of the biggest changes. And normally, there's no way in hell I'd qualify on primaries, but I just felt like it would be better in the long run, even on that first stint, even if it meant I had to overtake a few people at the start. I felt like it would pay dividends in the end.
Indeed. And it was interesting to watch how that worked, because it was significantly slower on those primaries for the first few laps. But as I was saying, each and every stint I was watching as that gap would close down quite in a hurry. So some definite strategy going to be working out, not just with this new road tire update, but also quite a bit of strategy is going to be coming on the oval side with the 3 tire sets that you're allowed. That should be pretty interesting as well. It's all these new strategy things. Do you feel like this falls in your favor as a driver to be able to utilize these strategies, or does it just make it more challenging because you had it so figured out with the old car?
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a while to get used to. And I think I said this to you in the last PMRL broadcast. I don't think the new tires are probably going to suit me. I'm sort of someone who quite liked the fact that the tires didn't have much slip, because I'm quite slow and steady. But on these tires, you can really push on them immediately, but on the alternates anyway. And you know, you can slide the rear. It will cost you later on in the stint, but I think particularly for qualifying, if you're one of those people that can really thrash the car around, it will probably pay dividends. So yeah, I'm just enjoying exploring the new tire. I wasn't really thinking about driving the car much this season, but the new tires have really added some interest for me, and hopefully participation looked pretty decent tonight, and hopefully that continues, because it is a car that needs a bit of love, I think, from the community.
It does, but it's again, if it works to become more realistic, I think it's just something that everybody's going to have to get a handle on. And you mentioned that Adam, we've seen Adam execute beautifully over so many races. He's really one of the masters of the IndyCars on iRacing, but he struggled today. His moment, he didn't quite have the pace over Jordan Lacey. Lacey was right up behind him, which is kind of shocking for us to watch, of course, from the broadcast booth. We're used to Adam being the fastest driver out there, but Lacey was right up behind, and I don't think he managed to pressure Adam Crane at all. Adam Crane just got passed by Lacey and then spun the tires on the exit curbing onto the backstretch. So perhaps these new tires catching out even somebody as skilled as Adam, and if that's the case, then I think everybody's kind of got to go back to the chalkboard and relearn this one. So hey, Will, pleasure having you here as well in this broadcast. I hope to continue to talk to you every single week because you're such a joy to talk with. So you pretty much just going to hang it up now, go back to Project Cars for the rest of the afternoon?
Hey, you got it, Trevor. Yeah, we'll get a lobby up. You should join us.
I'd love it, but I only have Project Cars 1, and yeah, I'd need to update. Anyway, awesome to have you on board with us here, Will, and we'll look forward to seeing you not only perhaps in our next round here and in the IndyCar iRacing series, but of course we'd love to have you join us in next season's PMRL. And we were telling everybody they should come over and join PMRL if they're an IndyCar racer and they want to take on Will Lyon. They should come over and check you guys out first of the season starting in October. Exactly, yeah, it's a great league, particularly if you're in Europe. The races are sort of in the evening time on Wednesday, so they're really good for us guys who can't make the strength of field race that's on at the start of every week in the official series. So yeah, I'd recommend anyone sign up. And don't worry, Trevor, we can sort you out with the latest version of Project Cars. Don't worry about that. So, thanks again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we'll love it. We'll get over there and we'll do a broadcast over there on Project Cars. Thank you so much for stopping in, Will Lyon, your PMRL champ and podium finisher here. And beautiful thing is we've just had Jordan Lacey, your winner, actually drop in, and we're going to see if we can get Jordan here into the broadcast booth. Jordan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
All right, brilliant. We are live on broadcast. I'm amazed how quickly that all worked. Everybody just saw it. We dropped the Discord invite right there in YouTube, and you're here. Jordan, what an amazing race. Congratulations. You look like the greatest of all time out there. It was amazing to watch you take on Adam Crane, make that pass, and not even look back. You were fastest today. You took the race 2021 world record for fastest lap. I don't know what to say. Thoroughly impressed. Congratulations, Jordan.
Oh, thank you. I'm not very used to these cars. I literally I done a race yesterday, and I found out, wow, I have pace. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try this race, I heard that it was going to be broadcasted, and so I thought I'd give it a go, and it worked out well.
It sure did. So you're saying, okay, now, I apologize. I didn't do my research on you ahead of time. You do come in with a 46.15 iRating before this race, so clearly you know what you're doing on the road course side. But you were aware that they dropped the big tire update? Had you driven the car a lot before the tire update? And is it just that you settled in and it all makes sense for you? Or did you really do your homework, do a bunch of prep for this and get ready for it?
I'm normally an LMP2 driver, and this car feels very similar in terms of trail braking, be easy on the throttle out of exit and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I have a friend called Clifton. He has his own setup shop and everything, and he made me a setup today. Literally made me a setup like 2 hours ago. So I didn't really get that much practice. I just got in the car and it felt amazing. The tires were a bit at near the end of the stint, but the car just kept going. Like, I had grip all the time. The only times I didn't have grip was when it was a driver error. I broke too late, or that kind of thing. But yeah, the car felt amazing. It really did. I'm really surprised on like, I drove it during week 13 in the ridiculousness, because it was at Road Atlanta at the start. Mm-hmm. And so then I got used to that, and then the whole thing changed.
Of course.
So I done the race yesterday, and I won that as well. I was like, wow, I have pace. I'm going to try today's race, and it worked out.
Well, you executed as well as any veteran that I've seen in an IndyCar today. Certainly, going up against Adam Crane, who is one of the current legends in IndyCar. He's the defending champion of this series. I don't know how much you know about it, but he won this series last season. He's probably the champion this season. I don't want to make that call because it's still a couple of races to go. But for you to take the fight and conquer this new tire release so well, Jordan, you think about maybe coming over and running IndyCar a little bit more? You might have a knack for this sort of thing.
I might do. So at the beginning of the race, I knew for a fact from practice. I was watching him and learning, and how he gets around the track, and I just picked up on what he did. I done it myself, and it worked. During the race at the start, I didn't want to interrupt. It's like new territory for me. So I just let him do his thing, and somehow I was staying with him. And then it got to the point where I stayed with him that much, I started fuel saving. And and then when he spun, I was devastated. I was looking forward to a really good race with him. I know that he's quick, but it's racing. It happens, and it's a shame. He is very fast. But yeah, I feel as if I would have given him a good fight. I really would have.
Well, you did give him a good fight, and we got it right there on the screen. We're taking a look at it now. It was coming out of the last corner. You made your move down the start-finish straight, and just an amazing pass on the champ. And it looked like initially he wasn't going to fight it. It kind of looked like he maybe was settling in for some tire degradation. You know how easy it is to say, oh, I haven't seen maybe this driver racing around me or an IndyCar that much. Probably he'll start falling off around lap 7, lap 8. I'll get that position back. But in fact, it was Crane, who we're so used to seeing executing just in the same way that you do, or that you did today, practically flawlessly, except the back end did step out. He was exiting onto the backstretch and spun up the tires, and it looked like it sent him across the track and into the path, unfortunately, of Rashad Craig, and took both of them out of the race. But nevertheless, I mean, this is a pivotal moment in IndyCar's history on iRacing as it gets more realistic. And I think seeing you drop in, Jordan, with your LMP experience and be able to conquer this machine that quickly, it speaks well for the potential for any of the skilled drivers around iRacing to be able to maybe step in and get some more out of this IndyCar. Again, if you can settle in, there's a couple of great leagues. Of course, Will Lyon, I was mentioning this during the broadcast, PMRL, happening right around this same time on Wednesdays. That could be a cool league if you're interested in that. They'll start in October, and then we're going to be doing the Indy Fix broadcast for Thursdays right around this same time. That's brand new for us in season 4. So if we get a chance to see you in those or this IndyCar iRacing series, it will be a pleasure, Jordan, because you're very talented and you just put the fight to some of the absolute best that we've seen on broadcast. And once again, I just have to say congratulations. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's working for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I will definitely look into it. I really will. So this IndyCar, it felt amazing. You know, as again, Clifton at Pampered Dampers, he really helped. Like he said, he made that setup 2 hours ago and the car felt amazing. So it's going to be fun. I definitely will consider it. Yeah.
Well, let's put that plug in one more time. I can't do it officially as a commercial thing, but you can say it one more time. Where can they get that setup that just won this race with?
That'll be at Pampered Dampers. If anyone wants it, just hit me up, message on Discord, and we'll sort out from there. Fascinating.
Well, I hope it works out for them. I hope it works out for you. Great to see you on broadcast today. You very well done. You look like mega pro as far as IndyCars go. And we'll see what season 4 and the rest of this season for the IndyCar iRacing series brings you, Jordan. Congratulations and good luck for your future, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. A pleasure. Thank you. And of course, if you're watching out there, make sure you subscribe over on YouTube. You'll get notified of all of our future broadcasts, not just IndyCar iRacing series, but of course the upcoming US IndyCar series, US IndyCar League, and the Fix series for the iRacing IndyCars. And so also we have stopping by to let us know how it went for them. Hey, Justin, can you hear me over there?
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going well for me. Justin Pedshower stopping by here in the broadcast booth. Now, Justin, you were racing today. You weren't in this race that we were featuring. What were you in second split today?
Yes, I was. I got down to second split. It was a bit of a wild start, as is tradition, especially going up through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. There were a number of guys that didn't know what they were doing, especially with the big tire update, but there were those of us that were just like, okay, we're just going to hang out in the back, qualify for a good pit stall selection, hang out in the back, just cherry pick our way through the field. And that actually worked out. And the best part about it was there was a few that I saw, me included, that actually got to switch to the primary black wall tires.
Okay.
And the strategy game was completely thrown around.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I'd see it happen at all.
So explain that. Over in second split, you saw the same thing that we saw in top split, that the black tires were all of a sudden becoming competitive. Was it at the beginning of the stint, the end of the stint? Where did you see it happening?
It was about what I felt. It was about mid to near the end of the stint, like about 8 to 10 laps in on the stint, the black sidewall tires would actually start to kick in. And I tell you what, there was a battle that I was having with another person on track. It was going on for about 8 laps total, just going back and forth, throwing hands, everything. Going into the final chicane before you crest the hill to go down towards the front stretch, we were side by side down that whole back stretch, and I'm like, I got him, and he just brakes harder into the corner, and he's on the same tire strategy that I am, black sidewall tires, and it was just like, I haven't had this much fun in God knows how long. This is what I'm gonna quote Joseph Newgard. God, I love IndyCar racing. Even on iRacing, this update has gotten it closer to what they handle like in real life, to where you could just, even on black sidewall tires, you can just throw the car around on the track and it'll just stick.
You gotta love it. I had some laps out there myself on Wednesday with my team, and it's such a different beast. It really does feel a lot more like a real-life IndyCar, and I'm so stoked for you. I know you love racing these IndyCars, love watching IndyCar. For all of us that love it and want it to be as real as possible, I think this is the big update that we've kind of been waiting for that really starts to cement the IndyCar. And now all of a sudden it's like a machine that's all connected, the front, the back, everything. One thing that Will Lyon was mentioning, some of the other fallouts are maybe the FFB, the force feedbacks, maybe not quite as intense as it has been in the past. But all in all, I think everybody kind of, while they're struggling with it, I haven't heard really any complaints per se. And I think everybody just appreciating how realistic it is. So seeing that you finished in... Let's see, I just had the results there. You were finished in 6th place, so congrats. You got 34 iRating out of that. Good job.
Yeah, it was a tough-fought battle. Near the end of that stint on the black sidewall tires, I was like, I would have followed Leslie in, but it's just like, you know what? I can, with how I've been doing, I pulled a Scott Dixon. Just let off going into the corners, let it breathe, roll through, and stayed out an extra lap, and it worked out in the end.
Awesome.
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, though. As someone that used to run in the NASCAR iRacing Fixed Series from 2013 to 2018 full-time, this has been the most fun I've had in the past 4 years.
Wow.
Yes.
That is an amazing statement coming from you, Justin. I appreciate you letting us know that, letting everybody know here on broadcast. I hope myself, I haven't gotten to race it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think all these competitors, you saw, you don't know, you haven't seen the broadcast yet, but maybe you've heard Jordan Lacey just stepping over from LMPs a couple hours before broadcast, getting that set up and able to take the fight to Adam Crane. This is, I think that's just some of the indicators, the way that you're talking, the way the update has really affected things. This is just some of the indicators that we might see some real shake up in the IndyCar scene. Pleasure to have you on with us, Justin, and bring in your insights from the second split. Obviously, some of the races we've been able to catch you in top split, and we'll look forward to catching top split next time at Laguna Seca.
Oh, Laguna Seca is going to be even more fun with this tire update. That's for damn sure.
You bet. I mean, I can only imagine what it's going to look like out of the corkscrew, but there's quite a few corners that are going to really benefit from the way that the car, I think, hooks up now with these new tires. So we look at the schedule up there on your screen. The next race is going to be Laguna Seca, and then our final race is going to be at Long Beach. And all of these, again, kind of like today, it's going to be interesting to see how these new tires really affect the overall racing. But Justin, we watched a great race in top split. Looked like it was, as you said, it was a good race in second split. Quite a few drivers still finishing up at the top of the order. And so, as far as not going down a lap. And so still quite a few drivers able to hang on to their cars. But Matthias Bergman, congratulations, winning the second split. Emil R. Johansson finishing second, and Anders Aros finishing in third. And so we look forward to seeing Justin and the rest of these competitors as we go forward to Laguna Seca. And I believe that's going to do it for our broadcast today. But congratulations to Jordan Lacey, David Porcelli, and Will Lyon on their fantastic runs. And of course, the championship contender, Matthias Kraus, holding on to that second place in the championship. We'll look to see if Andrew Marquez can show up next time and maybe put a fight to Matthias for that second place in the championship. Andrew currently sitting in third and the top American in the championship. But for myself here, Trevor Greenfield at VirtualRacing.Network, as well as all of the competitors here in the IndyCar iRacing series, I'm done talking for the week. And it's been a pleasure having you on with us on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe the video. We'll see you next time from Laguna Seca. It's been an absolute pleasure. So for now, bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.